is up, y'all? Philly Fly Show. Checking in here and kicking in at Right Way Production Studios, and we are back for another week. I just recorded a quick short, so if you didn't take that out to see your best bet of the week, hint, hint, there's 2 picks there for you. So let's get that, watch that, send it, share with your homies, and we're here for another Philly Fly Show week. I'm hoping that I get the textiles in here. I'm going to try to point. I'm going to try not. I don't really know because I'm still learning how to edit. I did a small little edit last week, if you didn't see, on a quick short. And I also did the short at work. So if you're wondering like why I was in a work uniform and all, man, I just wanted to do it quick and test it out. It took me I just did it on my break. So that's why it wasn't a very good production. It was just something small just to see. And each week, these will probably get better once I fully figure out this video editing thing. Now, last week was a crazy week for the UFC Fight Night and for the Philly Fly Show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first 8 fights, the Philly Fly Show just kept checking off the box on right, got it right. Thought I was going to get the whole card right. Quick edit here because I didn't mark that, but then literally match like 3, co-main event and main event of the evening, boys and girls. Failure. Just failure. Which I'm not mad because, to be fair, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first 9 picks, sorry, not 8, 9 picks were right, and then the last 3 were wrong. So we went 9 for 12, which is not terrible at all. But the goal of the last 3 and out and not get a perfect one, that was a little frustrating for me. So, but we're here for UFC 326. Max Blessed Holloway versus Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. Now, Max is everybody's favorite fighter, but there's certain guys, because I've watched for so long, that I just tend to gravitate towards because I really, really like them. And Charles is one of my favorite fighters of all time, literally all time. There's a top 5 of mine. He's in the top 5. I'm not going to name a top 5 right now because that's not what we're here for. But we got 13 fights on this, so we're just going to jump into it. Match like number 13. A guy making his UFC debut will start in the light heavyweight division. We get Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato. Now, Bellato's a plus 180 underdog, whereas Luke's a negative 230 favorite. Look, man, Luke's making his UFC debut, and he's a great striker. He put his first guy out, his first UFC technical fight is Dana White Contender Series, but his first UFC debut will be on Saturday. But in the Dana White Contender Series, he knocked out dude in 15 seconds. So that was a pretty epic way to jump on the scene for the UFC. But fighting a guy like Rodolfo has fought 4 or 5 times in the UFC for sure. All 4 or 5 times are dudes that are just killers and bangers. Man, Bellato is no slouch. That's why I'm going to go Bellato here, because you can't match up a guy making his UFC debut against a vet like this, a guy who's knocked dudes out, good dudes out, and been knocked out. So he's been in there with the best already. So let's just say Luke does get a win. The UFC is looking really high on him to match him up against a guy like Bellato, but Bellato's going to get this win on Saturday, guys. Don't even sweat about it, but hey, 1 out of 5 on the confidence level just because Luke's got them fucking bangers in those hands. Whoa, I think that's like the first time I swore on my podcast. I swear all the time in life. I'm a big time person. Just speak with your mind. It doesn't matter. But when it comes to the podcast, I got homies and stuff I know that listen and have kids. So I try to keep the swearing down to a minimum. So that was a small slip up, and I'm just going to call myself out for it. Now we got match like number 12. We get Ji-Young Lee versus Gaston Bolaños. Now, Bolaños is a plus 220 underdog. Lee is a negative 295 favorite. Look, man, Lee has not lived up to the height that he's supposed to come into the UFC as a prospect. He hasn't lived up to it. He's fighting a guy in Bolaños who I didn't know too much about, but the guy's got banger hands. Lee just kind of gets into a brawl in there when he's got good grappling and he's a well-rounded fighter. He should use that to his advantage, whereas Bolaños, he looks like more of a striker, so I don't know how much of a grappling background he's really got. But again, Lee struggled against guys striking and try to stand and bang with them and turn it into a brawl, and that's just not the good fight or not a good game plan for Lee to win this fight. Bolaños wins 1 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. Match like number 11, light heavyweight division. Rafael Tobias versus Dair Nugazante. Now, Dair is a plus 162 underdog, whereas Tobias is a negative 210 favorite. Didn't know super too much about these guys. I can't even remember watching them fight. So wasn't able to do like what I like to. I just wasn't able to do my research on these guys the way I like to. So I'm going Tobias here, not because of the odds makers, 2-1 favorite, but because what I can find out the very little about both these fighters, I just liked his well-roundedness over Dair. And we'll see what kind of fight plays out. Now I'm going to go 3 out of 5 on the confidence level, but only because I think Tobias is a better fighter. But it's all on paper. Anything can happen in these fights. Let's go. Flyweight. We get 2 flyweight bouts here. You know what? Going through this card, no female fights on this one. So a little weird there for me. Match like number 10 here is a flyweight fight between Sue Mujeri versus Jesus Aguilar. Now, Sumajari, that's how you actually say. Sumajari is a negative 260 favorite. Jesus is a plus 196 underdog. I really like Jesus' game. I think he carries power in the flyweight division, which you don't see that often with the size and type of fighter is, but he's got some power with those hands. Sumadre, though, he came into UFC looking like he was supposed to be this badass brawler, great striking, and just going to put your lights out. Didn't live up to the hype right away, and now is starting to find himself in the flyweight division. I personally think the guy should have just gone to bantamweight because I think the weight cut is the issue that why he's had bad fights. But he's turning around as of late. He's got the craziest reach for a guy at his size at the flyweight division. That's why a distance fight is bad for Jesus, and we've seen Jesus get into those distant fights a little too much. I'm going Sumadre with the negative 260 favorite. 1 out of 5 though on the confidence level because Jesus is game in every single fight. Matchup number 9, we're staying in the flyweight division. Cody Duran versus this guy's name I have never heard. I'm pretty sure he's making his UFC debut. The small research that I did, kind of escaping my brain here from all the research I did. So I can't remember if it's his UFC debut or if it's his second fight in the UFC. But I'm going to try his name, and it's hard. So if you don't get it, guys, we're going to make up a name after to make sure that you know who I'm talking about. Niam Agarjal Tumade Burrell. Now, Niam is a negative 146 favorite. Cody is a plus 114 underdog. I like Cody's game, but at flyweight, it just doesn't seem like he's more of a point fighter. This other guy, what I'm being told, is well-rounded from the research I've done. Good striker, good grappler, kind of puts it all together in the UFC, especially in the flyweight, you kind of got to put it all together like that. But Niam, he's going to get the win. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level, he gets a win just because I like Cody Duran's game, but not for flyweight. I'd rather that guy also move. Well, I can't say move to bantamweight. I just don't like him at flyweight. I just don't think he's going to be a top fighter. Whereas Niam, I'm being told he could be one of these top 15 flyweights in the world. All right. Tongue-tied there. In fact, got a water right here. Gotta grab it because, one things you gotta always remember and do to make sure that you don't had a bad time. I saw my mic blink and I thought it was kind of messed up. Water. Anytime you record a video for anybody, just water. Water's key. I don't always drink it in every video, but when your mouth gets as dry as mine just did, I needed it one bad. All right, matchup number 8, featherweight bout, Ricky Turrios versus Albert Montez. Now, Alberto Montez. Alberto's a negative 200 favorite. Ricky Turrios is a plus 154 underdog. Ricky bursted on the scene coming through the Ultimate Fighter and looked like a guy that could be a good prospect. The problem I've always had with Ricky is his striking. It's It's not on a good level. It's on just an average level. There is not power behind his strikes. And he gets in there like he's just got this demeanor about him that he's just this badass fighter. And I just don't see it, man. I don't see his game has not improved anymore. He hasn't put it on anybody. He's actually on a bad losing streak, and Alberto looks like the real deal as a prospect. Great hands. Grappling department, I'm not going to say that he's elite or not. He's there. He's trained, as some would say. But Alberto's hands is where it's going to be a bad night for Ricky. And I feel like Ricky will get in there and try to brawl like he always does, and it turns out horrible. Once it starts turning horrible is when Ricky goes back to his grappling, which he's a good grappler. So he should use that right from the beginning. But in the beginning he doesn't. He likes to brawl. So we're going Alberto here. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised after the fight. Take that negative 200, cash it to the bank, baby. Match number 7 here is a middleweight bout between Dante Johnson and Cody Brundage. We've seen Cody Brundage upset me so many times. I don't even like this. Like, I hate when Cody Brundage is fighting anybody that I really think's got like a really good advantage over him, because he ends up winning, and it's frustrating. And he wins when he's like a plus 300, plus 400. I don't jump on the bandwagon. And again, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon because I don't see him as that fighter. He likes to take shots. He'll take 3 shots to give you one really good one. Now, that's how he's won certain fights, and I see why he's stuck to that game plan, because it's won him fights. But against a guy like Dante Johnson, you cannot take a strike from him. He's built different. He's huge for the middleweight division, and those hands are going to be dirty to him. Granted, Dante likes to grapple too, so we could see more of a grappling fight there. But Cody just isn't the same fighter that I swear to you, he's just gotten lucky. I swear. I know that's going to sound bad, but I swear he's just gotten lucky in the fights that I've gotten wrong. Cody plus 420 underdog. Dante Johnson negative 650 favorite. Take Dante Johnson, put it on a parlay slip, and cash it to the bank, because Cody is not winning. I will double down on that. Cody is not winning this fight. And if I'm wrong, I don't know what I'm going to do on a Cody Brundage next fight. Match like number 6, feature prelim bout of the evening, boys and girls. Cody Garbrandt versus Xiao Long. Now, Xiao's a negative 158 favorite. Cody is a plus 124 underdog. The odds makers, I think, have this completely wrong. Cody might not be that fighter that everyone remembers. Cody might not ever be at that level again. But I'll tell you one thing. Cody's still one of these top 15 competitors in the bantamweight division. He'll get back in there. Can't wait to see it. You know what? Realizing that I did all this research, putting this effort into the edits, it skipped my mind. I forgot to put rankings on here, guys and girls. So maybe I'll put them in on the textile, but I really don't know how I'm going to perform that one without, actually doing it. So that's a little frustrating there. I could cut the video and edit it together, but I'm not going to do that because I got a lot on my plate already this week for doing this. So, look, Cody Garbrandt gets the win. Cody Garbrandt doesn't get a finish or anything. I can't jump on that, and I'm not confident on it because it's only a 1 out of 5 confidence. Cody gets the win, but in my heart, I just know Cody's winning. And we'll jump to the main card here, guys. Going a little fast on this, but hey, this week, everything for me is about learning this year and learning to do some new things and bringing some new content to you guys. So that's kind of fun. Match like number 5 here. Like I said, we'll jump into the main card, middleweight bout. Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferra. Now, Bruno's a plus 162 underdog. RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez, negative 210 favorite. Now, Gregory is one of the hardest people I think I've ever seen to, get knocked out. When Jared Cannonier knocked him out, it almost was a fluke. And I'm not saying, Jared doesn't have game to knock him out. But he has fought other dudes and taken different type of shots where they should have put him to sleep easy. When Jared did it, he landed on the temple and then hit him upside the jaw on a different strike. So it was 2 different strikes that ended up putting him out. But like I'm trying to say, I've seen him fight a guy that I just know if he took that same strike he took from Jared, from that guy, he'd still be standing. Because the dude's, that's why they call him RoboCop. He just keeps coming forward, man. RoboCop, big win on Saturday. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised. Now, boys and girls, we get to matching number 4 here. Lightweight bout between Drew Dober and Michael Johnson. Now, Michael Johnson, -120 favorite. Drew Dober, -106. It's almost a pick'em. I'm just going to call it a pick'em because it's inside my realm of pick'em. I don't give a damn what the pros and what they all say. This is a goddamn pick'em, all right, boys and girls? But Drew has got crazy one-shot power. He's a good wrestler, so Mike and him aren't going to be grappling it out. It's going to be a stand and bang fight. Mike is a good striker too, and he's been on a tear as of recently. It was hard for me because Drew's been knocked out by dudes that he shouldn't have been knocked out by, and at distance, Michael's going to have the longer reach. He's going to have the faster hands, I believe. I don't know who's going to have the more power. It's going to be an even there for me. But like I said, Michael is more of a good striker on the elite side, whereas Drew's just not as crisp. He's a one-shot lander. He's still got power. It's not like it's bad. It's just not at the level of Mike, and that's why they give the edge to Mike on a -120. Mike's getting a win on Saturday. If Drew is the same Drew that goes in there and doesn't move his head as well as he should be, his last fight, well, the fight he got knocked out in is the fight that keeps popping in my head with his head movement. And Michael Johnson's going to tear you up and pick you apart if that happens. So I'm picking him 1 out of 5, though, because Drew is game to win that fight. All right. Match number 3, bantamweight bout. Rob Font versus Rahul Rosas Jr. Now, Rosas Jr. is a -230 favorite, whereas Rob's a +176 underdog. Rob's weakness is grappling. We've seen him fight a certain grappler and win, and recently where he put on a show. But Rob's a boxer and struggles against these grapplers, and Rojas Jr. is at a different level. His striking might not be up to the level of Rob because Rob's boxing is just elite, and Rojas is not at that elite level of striking. But he's at elite level of grappling. He's got enough striking to where he can hurt Rob. The problem is if Rojas try to put on a show and stand up and fight, that's not happening. Rob will put your lights out. But if he mixes it up with the grappling and the striking, it's a bad night for Rob. And that's why I picked Rojas Jr. I just think Rojas is going to submit him. I think Rob had a fluke-style win against the last grappler they fought. And the name's escaping me when I'm on the podcast here and I'm pressure with this. The names escape me. I should really write some of these down so I remember it. But again, Rojas Jr. is going to win. His grappling's better. His power and Rob's power might be almost even. Rob will have a slight edge, but the striking, Rob goes like this, and Rojas Jr. is just down here. So I do not want a distance fight. I want Rojas Jr. to get him against the cage and finish him in whatever way he can. 3 out of 5, though, on the confidence level, because I just don't think Rob's improved on his grappling defense at all. Co-main event of the evening is a banger. It's a don't blink fight. Dana White says if you don't know, now you know, and you should know on a co-main event. Well, this one, the reason I really like this fight is this reason here. You got Kai Bohalo versus Rainier de Ridder. Glad to see Rainier get right back in there after his loss. Kai's a roller coaster. He's coming off a loss to Imanov, whereas Rainier de Ridder, I cannot think of who Rainier de Ridder fought off the top of my head right now. See, so I should write this down. But they're both good grapplers. Rainier, his style of fighting's a little different. Like, he will get in close and do the clinch game, striking, dirty boxing style. Whatever he's got to do to win the fight, he does it. And he throws this crazy knee to the solar plexus that I really like. Kai has got power, but he's a one-strike power puncher. He's a one-strike counter puncher. And that's where his weakness is going to be, because Rainier de Ridder's a dirty boxer. He'll get in close. He'll grapple you. He's going to do all the stuff that Kai's not going to want to do to win the fight in the way Kai fights. or Kaio fights. I keep calling him Kai. It's Kaio. Man, -310 on Kaio, plus 230 on Rainier. Now, who do you think I'm gonna go with as the Philly Fly Show host? Of course, I'm going Rainier de Ridder, man. The guy, I just think his level of what he does is over what Kai can do. Now, Kai lands a strike, puts his lights out. Could happen. Kai gets him to the ground somehow and submits him. Unlikely to happen. I think they're both at the same level of grappling. But I don't know how Rainier is up from his back. I know how Kai is from his back. We've seen him on his back. I'm not in my brain remembering Rainier being put on his back in the way he fights. So that could come down to the thing too. But I'm going Rainier. I'm taking the plus 230 to the bank. I'm cashing it. 1 out of 5 on the conference level. He gets race. BMF title on the line, guys. The next one, the big one, the main event of the evening. Max Blessed Holloway versus Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. -225 favorite for Max Holloway. Plus 168 for Do Bronx Charles Oliveira. Man, when you gotta watch your favorite fighter fight a guy who's just, he's an elite fighter, and then you start breaking down on who's gonna win, and Max is still coming into his own at lightweight to me. He's still filling in that body because I don't see the power there as high as it was for me and him at featherweight. But again, at featherweight, he wasn't an elite knockout artist. Fly to now he's at lightweight. He's got a great knockout against Justin Gaethje. He beat down Dustin Poirier. Got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. It's hard, man. These fight games are hard, and then you get Charles, where Charles got knocked out by Ilia bad. Max got knocked out, but Max still looked like a decent fight, whereas Charles, that didn't look like a decent fight. And that's what sucks, because Charles was not scared. He went in there, and that was the wrong game plan, man. Ilia's a crazy power striker. Charles does not have to worry about that. When he fought Gamrot, he submitted him and showed, hey, I can still strike, I can still grapple. Max is not going to grapple you. Max is going to be stand and bang, and let's get to the center, point down, and whop, whop, whop. Gosh, it's hard. It's hard when it comes down to this. So, for me, goes the distance. Max is a better point fighter. Max is going to win. It goes to the ground. Charles submits him. I mean, I know people are going to say Max got great grappling defense. Charles submits him. It goes to the ground. So then it comes down to the stand and distance fight and who can knock out who. And that's where it changes for me. My boy Do Bronx has got those hands. And when I mean hands, I mean he can put lights out. Max is in his own head about how elite he is of a striker and what he's going to do to Charles. It's not what's going to happen, boys and girls. Do Bronx is getting a win on Saturday. The biggest win for him in a minute. I fully believe. I just look at the variables. Max winning is only at a point fight for me. I don't think he's knocking out Charles. I think it's going to be too hard for him. I think he's going to find, because Charles is just as big as him. Like, it's just, everything should lean on Charles. It should be more of a pick 'em. I cannot believe that the odds makers have Max as this big of a favorite. I don't like it. I won't roll with it. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira gets the win on Saturday, and that's who I pick, baby. Let's go. All right, y'all. Philly Fly Show is going to be checking out here. I got a long night of editing here for this video. Most likely in the morning. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Most likely I'll try to I'll definitely have this out Thursday. Both of them out Thursday. It's just Thursday evening or Thursday morning. One might come in the morning, one might come in the evening. You'll see. What up? Shout out to everyone for always watching my videos, my homies, my followers. Let's win some more money this week, baby. And shout out to Right Way Production Studios for always making this happen. Peace the bleep out, y'all.